Time management for busy moms. Are you a mom or even just a busy parent in general who is like struggling to make it work, make it happen, be the perfect mom, get everything done? You know, if I came to your house with a magic wand, you'd have a list of 500 things that you would want help with, right? Because our list just doesn't end. But how do we manage our time so that we get everything done, but also have time to like enjoy life again? Well, that's what I'm here for. My name is Erin Cook. I'm creator of Find Your Free Time, where I help busy moms just like you take hold of their schedules, figure it out, how to prioritize their daily to-do list, what to put on their daily to-do list, what not to put on the to-do list, and how to find 1 to 2 more hours of free time every single day. Wouldn't that be awesome to do something that you wanted to do or that was important to you 1 or 2 hours a day? That's like 60 hours a month. What would you do with 60 extra hours? Whew! Head to findyourfreetime.com to figure that out. Anyway, I am sharing today my top 10 tips for time management for busy moms like you. So you need to stay tuned if that sounds like you. So let's get to my top 10 tips for busy moms, right? Okay, so I have my cheat sheet here, but I want to tell you a little bit about where I'm coming from, okay? In my life, I've had a lot of crazy stuff happen, as we all have, and my daughter passed away in 2008, if you didn't know that already. I was a physical therapist, hated my job. Fast forward to 2014, where I finally decided to quit and be home with my kids more, and I chose to be a travel agent instead after 15 years, okay? So here's my dream job. My goal was to be able to stay home with my kids more. But in order to do that, I had to make money from home. So what I started doing was I had an ice cream stand as well at the time, and I also watched my kids while I wasn't there and started this new travel business. So I was really rocking and rolling, trying to figure it all out so that I could make enough money to stay home with my kids and not have to change my lifestyle. Well, what started happening in 2015, the year after I became a travel agent, I also adopted our 3rd child, and life was a little bit crazy. Well, my business got booming, and that's everybody's dream, right? That's what I wanted. However, it was booming so much that I was working 14 hours a day doing it because our winter months, that's our peak season for booking travel. It's cold and everybody wants to go someplace. So I was swamped with trying to handle not only the ice cream portion of it that was closing down, but also doing the bookworks and taxes and things like that, managing my 4 kids, and now working 14 hours a day doing travel for people, booking travel. I loved it, but by day like 10, I remember just sitting up, it was like midnight or 1 in the morning, and I just started crying uncontrollably because I finally realized that I was working so hard to stay home, but when I was home, guess what I was doing? All I was doing was working. I couldn't like get a handle on my schedule. I couldn't figure out why I couldn't manage it all. And then when I started figuring out and looking into this, I started taking classes on, personal development, things like that. I started to realize that I had a lot of pressure on myself, which you do as well. And that's probably why you're here. You're probably feeling like you have to be perfect, you have to be super mom, you have to figure it all out. And the truth is you really don't. So I have these top 10 tips for you that I want to give to you so that your life can be more enjoyable, more manageable, and you don't feel the need to be perfect, okay? So grab your pen and paper. Here is number 1. Now, most of us work outside the home. Some of us work at home, and some of us maybe are stay-at-home moms. However, that does not mean you don't work, right? My first tip is to establish a work schedule as far as setting your hours. Okay, so if you are working outside the home, let's say you have a job from 8 to 5, but sometimes you come home and you have to do maybe some emails, or maybe you have to be on call for something or whatever. Set the hours that you're going to do that extra work, when you're going to check that email and respond to that email. I don't want you to come home and say, okay, I work out of the office, but sometimes my clients call me at home, so I have to be available, or email me, whatever. You have to set those hours. Here's the key. You can set those hours, but you have to tell people what those hours are. So if you are somebody that has a client base and they're able to contact you at your home, you have to say, I will be checking email at this time at night. And if you don't get back to me by then, I'm gonna have to just wait till the morning, okay? That's happening with me right now. I have a lot of millennials, and this is no offense, but millennials were brought up in the world where they have instant gratification, right? So whenever they email me, they expect me to respond, even if it's like at 11 at night. And now that's not fair to me or my my family, right? I have business hours, and what I've done is put them in my email signature. I have them on my website, I have them on Facebook so that they know the hours that I'm available. So that's the first thing. If you have any kind of business, if you're in network marketing, any kind of business at all, I want you to set time every day to do that business, and that's it. Tell everybody your hours, tell your family your hours so that they know when to expect that you're going to be busy and not to bother you. That way everybody's on the same page. It's not fair for you to have to go and handle something at like 10 at night just because you didn't tell your client or whoever that you're not available at that time. Okay, so that's tip number 1. Establish your hours. Okay, tip number 2, I'm gonna get some flack on because some people think it's possible and some don't. Now I know it's not possible to multitask, okay? Now the reason I say don't multitask, it's not that you can't, turn on music while you're doing dishes or turn on a podcast or whatever. That's not what I mean by multitasking. By multitasking, I mean having to do 2 important things at the same time. One could be listening to your child, asking them about their day, whatever. And then the other could be checking email. You can't do those 2 things efficiently at the same time, okay? Because again, your brain toggles between 2 tasks. It just can't focus physically on 2 things at the same time. Now, can you do them at the same time? Yes. But if you think about it, can you answer your child's question while you're typing something else? No, because your brain has to think about what you're typing. So just think for a minute how much more productive you would be if you sat down, answered your child's questions, and then went to do your email. I know it sounds simple, but we freaking multitask all day long, right? It seems like that's the only way we're gonna get things done, but we are not productive. Our quality of work is not good, whatever it is we're doing. Even when we're trying to make a recipe, we can't focus if we're trying to do something else, like a class online, or help a customer, or whatever it is, and we're on the phone talking. You're like, you've caught yourself, maybe you're on the phone talking, and you're like, crap, what was I doing, right? Because you just get lost in your head. So you need to stop multitasking and make time for each individual task that's important and that needs your attention, okay? So number 2, stop multitasking and be more productive by focusing. This one's a fun one. You've heard me say this a lot, but we have had so much trouble with this lately. Okay, that is establishing a routine every single day for the most chaotic parts of your day. Now, our most chaotic part of our day is when we come home from school. Crap hits the fan all the time, okay? It's just chaos for us. So I had to implement a new routine. I had to actually physically write it out for the kids and have them follow it, and so we're getting used to it, okay? So think about your routine. If you have something scheduled and somebody throws a surprise at you, what do you feel like? You feel anxious, right? So do your kids, so do your family, so does yourself if something like that happens. If you don't have an established routine and say, okay, I can handle this because I know what I have to come back to after we've done this unexpected task or whatever it is, we're back on track. And that's the way to establish a routine. Also, kids know what to expect. They aren't coming home going, oh my gosh, what's mom gonna do? Is she gonna yell? Do we have to eat? What do I have to do when I walk in the door? I don't remember, I don't know. Establishing routine is so important. So what I do is I say, okay kids, I do a couple of different ones. So if we are driving home, because now we live in the village and sometimes we walk home. If we're driving home, we sit in the car and I explain to them what's gonna happen next. I review our schedule, okay? And it's just simple. When you walk in, your shoes go in the closet, your lunch bag comes out of your backpack, you take out the items in your lunchbox, put them in the sink, and then last thing is you have to get the homework out that you've done for that day and put it in the homework bin, okay? And that's where I go and check it. That's just their routine for that moment so that they know what it is they have to do when they get home, because we're all coming from different places and we need to transition, okay? And at that time, then we're getting ready for dinner. And when those tasks are done, I say, okay, when you are done doing your tasks that we just talked about, you're gonna sit in your spot. And every kid has a spot in the house, right in the living room, just so that I know they're finished and they can just calm down and wait for whatever is next. All right, so routine is key. If you don't have a routine for those chaotic times, get one. It will help you, okay? This one I love. Okay, this one was so not me. Delegate chores, because even if they're done, excuse my language, half-assed, they are gonna be, at least partly done. So the other day I was worried about my floor. Let's say we have a new floor and it's hard to figure out how to take care of it. Things stick to it all the time. So I needed help, but I didn't have time to just sweep and mop the whole floor. So I just had my daughter do it. Now, did she do it the same way I would have? No. but guess what? It was done. Okay? So letting your kids help with the chores and letting them help with little tasks. I know it's not going to be as perfect as you would do it because you're a mom and you know what it's like to clean and you know how it should be done. You've had experience, but try to let that go and delegate to somebody in your family, even your husband. Okay? Many people are hesitant to do that. Take time and think about what chores you hate. I know people have said laundry. Even if your child can move the laundry from the washing machine to the dryer. Like, it's just little things that you can think you can add to their chore list. Kids need chores, okay? So don't feel guilty about doing that. You're teaching them how to become an adult and do things independently without them having to rely on other people to do that for them. So go ahead and establish some delegation guidelines that you can delegate whatever it is that you want to do. Kids can even wash vegetables for you, okay? They can, if they're older, they can cut them up, whatever, do some food prep. Anything that you can think of that you hate doing, see if you can delegate and make it a family thing, okay? I like that one. All right, getting back to the schedule, the next tip is when you're doing your daily schedule, you have to factor in family time. Time when you shut off, time you don't answer the phone, you don't check email, you're not surfing the web, you're not on Facebook, you're totally focused on your family. You need that every day. Because what if you wake up tomorrow and something happens to a family member? You would have said, crap, I shouldn't have been on Facebook last night, right? Wouldn't you say that? I wish I could have spent more time with, that family member. I just feel like we do so much so that we can have the freedom to be with the people that we want to be with, right? We work so that we have money to take the kids on vacation, or we have the money to give them what they need for school, but we don't have the time to focus on them. Even though they're the most important things, our family and friends, we don't have time to focus on them because we're so busy. So we need to make time for family and we need to schedule it in and we need to stick to it. It's non-negotiable, okay? Even if it's 20 minutes that you have, turn everything else off, it's time for family, all right? Now, this one's from my dear friend Heather. Heather is a great friend of mine who has trouble cleaning out her closet. She has this goal. She wants to clean out her master closet. Now, this was a couple of months ago, and the tip that I'm going to give her and you as well is when you have a big goal or a big project to do, you have to chunk it into sections, okay? So with her, she is a super busy mom. She has her own business going at home. She just had a new baby. She has another child in preschool. So she's very busy. So I said today, Heather, because she said if I had a magic wand, she would have me help her do her closet. I said, is this the same closet you wanted to take care of 2 months ago? She said, yeah. I said, okay, right now I'm your accountability partner. Break it up into 7 chunks. I want you to do something every day for a week and then your closet will be cleaned out. And she said, well, I don't think I need 7 different tasks. I said, then get to work. She needed 4, okay? She had to go through her clothes. She had to take out the things that didn't belong in there, storage stuff. Well, she went through her clothes, her husband's clothes, take out the stuff, and then put stuff in there that didn't need to go in it. 4 tasks that can be done in 4 days, but this has been 2 months because she didn't chunk it out and take it step by step, baby steps. Okay, so any project that you have as a mom that you need to do, something like cleaning out a closet or a garage or whatever it is, chunk it down. If it's cleaning a room that's like your catch-all room, day 1, take out the trash from it. That's it. You're done. Day 2, maybe take all the clothes and fold them, put them in the laundry wherever they need to go. Day 3, maybe you dust. Whatever it is that you need to accomplish, break it into chunks. That's how you're gonna get forward without being so anxious about accomplishing one big task. Okay, so chunk it down. This one is super hard. This is something that I struggle with. It is letting go of perfection. Okay, perfection is all around us. We see it on Instagram. We think we see it on Facebook. We think we see it in magazines, everywhere. We see perfection, right? And we feel how? How do we feel when we see that? We feel like we need to live up to it, but we feel like we're not worthy unless we are perfect. And that's a total lie. You are so worthy. You're such a busy mom. You do your best for your family. You do the best for yourself. And that's all you can do. You can't be perfect and you'll never be perfect. So stop trying. I'm saving you tons of time right now. So you're going to thank me, okay? You have to let go of that perfection because it's just a myth. And we're wasting so much time on making things perfect. Like I mentioned, the DIY projects for Valentine's Day, okay? Your kid does not need to bring in the fanciest decoration for their Valentine's. Guess what? You know what I did last year? I went to the store and I found clearance 10-cent Valentine cards, saved them for the next year, and that's what we're using this year. Okay? 10 cents for a box, you know, the ones that you just put a sticker on. Who cares? Who cares? Really, if somebody judges you by what you're putting in your kid's Valentine box, oh my gosh, so not worth it. Okay? You have better things to do. Stop being perfect. You don't have to be, regardless of what the world says. All right, that's my favorite tip. Number 8, you may hate me. Put your phone down. I talked about it a little bit when we talked about family time, but I'm telling you, social media and surfing the net and being on our phone and just kind of being brain dead for a minute is killing our families. Okay, how many times have you said, wait, I just gotta see if somebody responded to this post or whatever, or somebody just instant messaged me and now I have to see what it is. And you're there for like half an hour before you know it, right? Because it's addicting. It's so addictive to get on there and just keep scrolling. Why? Because we escape the chaos of our lives and what we need to be doing. And in the meantime, doing that makes us waste more time. So we have to put down the phone. If you don't have to be on it, I know it's hard. I know it's hard because that's what gives you a rush, right? When you get that message or whatever, you get that rush. Oh, who is it? And what is it? Or either that or you get anxious because you're like, oh no, who is it? Depending on your personality. It's addictive and we need to stop and put the phone down because hours can go by and we have done nothing. I bet if you think back to yesterday, you can't remember hardly anything that you saw on social media because you scrolled through it again today and it's all different. Right? It means nothing. So try to put your phone down as much as possible. That's tip number 8. Tip number 9 is give your family a heads up. What do I mean by heads up? Well, when you're a mom, we have an idea of what we need to do that day, everything that needs to get done. I suggest that in the morning or the night before when you're planning your schedule, and we're going to talk about how to do that in just a second, tell your family what's going to be going on the next day, what's coming up, what they need to expect. Remember we were talking about routine? That makes people feel less anxious. You know, what are we doing tomorrow? Oh, okay, I'm going to be prepared that we have to go to the dentist at, you know, after school. Whereas if I came home with the kids and said, all right, hop in the car quick, we got to go to the dentist's office, they'd be like, what, whoa, I didn't know we were going. Am I going to get a filling? Do I have Novocaine? Yada, yada. It can create all sorts of tension in your family. So if you need help scheduling the night before, which you should be doing by now, if you're following me, you know you have to schedule your next day the night before. And you can learn how to do that at findyourfreetime.com. That's my free training that I mentioned, where I teach people how to prioritize their schedule, what they should put on their list, what they shouldn't put on their list, and how to find 1 to 2 hours a day of free time to do what it is you want to do and what's important to you. Okay, so schedule your night ahead and then tell your family what's coming up. It will be a lot less stressful, okay? My last tip, I love this tip and you've heard me talk about it before, but when you're doing things, let's say mailing cards out for birthdays or shopping for birthday gifts or paying bills, anything that you have to do multiple times a month or a year, do them in batches. So by that I mean like shopping for gifts. If you take the month of July and you've got 4 birthday parties, you know, your kid's going to, or you have a wedding or something, take one day and get all the gifts for that month. That way it's done. Don't run to the store the night before searching for a gift and then say, oh shoot, in 2 weeks from now I got to go to the store again and get a gift for Johnny Joe's birthday. All right, do things in batches. Be prepared. Cook meals. If you're cooking a meal, let's say you're making ground beef, buy the big pack, cook it all, freeze 2/3 of it if that's what you don't need at the moment, and then have it ready for later. Find ways to do things at the same time that doesn't take any more time, right? Because if I pull out a pot and pan 3 different times and wash the pot and pan and cook 3 different times, I could have done that all in one shebang, right? Because most likely you're gonna get out that pot, maybe you can cook, you have to do 2 rounds of cooking in that particular pan because there's so much hamburger, but chances are you're in the kitchen anyway cleaning up or loading the dishwasher or finishing other parts of the dinner, that you can cook that brown meat and not waste any time. All right, so do things in batches. That's my last tip. So I hope you learned something today. If you have a question or a comment, please put it here below. I would love to be in here answering your questions, helping you figure out how to systematize and simplify your life and how to figure out whatever it is that you're struggling with, how to make it easier on you and how to make you happier being a mom, being a busy mom, and maybe making you not so busy and not feeling guilty about it, right? That's so important. Busy moms often feel the pressure to be perfect, and I want to take that away from you because because you're perfect just the way you are. I love you just the way you are, and you don't have to be super mom. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe because I have new videos coming out every week, and I would love you to be a part of that. Give me a thumbs up below if you learned something here. Comment in the comment section. That will help me tremendously help you. That's the way I can connect directly with you, and I'd love to do that. So I'll talk to you soon. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time. God bless. All right. Tip number 9. Yeah.